Talk about the battles this season. I mean, obviously, you've had to do some incredible fight scenes on the show. Did they ramp it up this season for you, or are you just going home with like aches and pains?
Yeah, I felt my age this year. I know it sounds weird. I'm only 30, but it is interesting, like going through these huge fight scenes year by year, and little things get twisted, or you're not moving quite as well as you used to. I feel like, the kind of professional footballers, like their peak is in their 20s. I've hit my 30s, and I'm just feeling those fights a bit more now.
So are they bigger this season? I mean, do they compare to the Battle of the Bastards, which sort of won
yeah,
6
they're
Emmys?
just. I mean, of course they're as big. There's a couple of huge battles this year. I mean, it's hard to. I think the main thing we try not to do is we don't try and top anything. We should never try and compete with the Battle of the Bastards. That was its own thing. So the battle this year that I'm involved with is completely different. It's a completely different thing. But yeah, scale-wise, it's just as big. It's bigger.
Talk to me about filming the fight sequences or battles this season. I talked to Kit earlier today, and he said he really felt his age.
He felt his age.
Yeah.
He felt his age.
What about us poor, me, old, close to death? True, dude.
We know you're involved in some sword swinging, so
Yeah.
talk a little bit about how that was for you.
It was exhausting. I mean, it just, if you lift a sword in Game of Thrones, you either die within 1 second or you are wrecked. Your arm feels like it weighs a ton because you got it, in real life, when you fight, you only have to do it like for a few minutes, whereas we had to do it for days and days and days, constantly. So you're like,
I remember Rory was telling me that fight that you and him did
Yeah.
in season 3 or whatever it was.
Season 3, yeah.
Around the fire.
Yeah.
In a studio.
In the studio. And it was 50-degree heat.
Yeah, and there was a fire.
armour.
He had one eye in armour, and between takes, Rory was telling me they just got freezing cold bottles of water.
They dragged us out like landed fish, and they pulled us through the door. We were literally on our hands and knees after every take, because we could only fight for 2 minutes because of the heat, because they didn't want us to pass out. And they literally had like bottles with ice, and they cut off the tops, and they were just pouring them down the back of our necks. And the steam was coming off us. It was just
I
unbelievable.
hope there's like B-roll of that somewhere for like the final season box set.